Welcome to My Dad is Grumpy as Shit. I am your host, Jay Cotto. And in today's segment, I do want to discuss and kind of piggybacking off of the last episode. Um, I want to discuss, depression, stagnation, um, feeling like you're not where you want to be, or feeling like you're in a place of unhappiness and there's no movement. A lot of times, even just like even me, kind of sitting here and having these discussions and just saying things, how I see them, and just putting my own perspective on things, and just kind of, you know, navigating through things in a way that just makes sense and makes things a little bit easier, and just kind of to some degree looking like I got it together. I don't. I suffer depression like anyone else. I suffer anxieties like anyone else. I go through those things. And if you guys haven't noticed from the last one to this one, that's actually currently what I'm going through. I don't feel like I'm in a place of productivity. I don't feel like I'm in a place of doing things that are relevant until I'm sitting here speaking into the camera. I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm doing much of anything when it comes to the daily grind, and what I do outside of this. And I get filled with anxiety by it. I get filled with anger and depression and sadness, you know, and I struggle with those things like everybody else. And I guess what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to convey in this conversation is that, I'm like you, and I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm better or anything like that. I just it's just my way of just kind of communicating with people and just telling them that, yeah, we're all similar in that regard. We all have these things. Some people could look like they have it together. Some people could look like they can process information at the drop of a dime and make it look easy and make it look okay. That's not true. Sometimes it takes me days, hours, weeks. Like right now, like I've been struggling with this for weeks. I'm doing 2 episodes of almost the same fucking thing. The level of depression is high. The level of anxiety is high. I'm trying to get through things. I'm trying to find a spot in my life currently that's meaningful, um, while not showing that to my family, to my wife, to my children. They don't deserve that. They don't deserve, looking at, my wife. She doesn't deserve looking at her husband and, being in a place of sadness and not being the pillar of strength that he's supposed to be. My kids shouldn't see their father in a way that he's down and depressed and sad. So it's trying to get through those things still while maintaining a sense of strength and dignity, and being what you're supposed to be. um and there are these stigmas, there are these things that, oh well, you know in this day and age, you could show your feelings and things like that, which, that's cool, it is. But on the other side of that, and I'm not really sure, and I could ruffle feathers with what I'm about to say, but on the other side of that, I don't I grew up, I was born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s. So the things I seen, the things that I learned, how I apply myself to life and is not the same. So there is a certain regard that I have when I think about a father and a husband, and what your job or what your role is in that marriage. And I hold true to that the best of my ability. So, and that means even when you're down, you stand the fuck up. And that's kind of where I am. I'm down, but I'm standing the fuck up. But it's not easy. And sometimes you're right. You kind of want to get it out. In the degree that, yeah, it's okay to say these things. It's okay to speak about these things. It's okay to, and that's what this is basically. So, what I'm coming to terms with is, this is my outlet. I don't go to therapy. I don't see a psychiatrist, right? But this allows me that ability to kind of put things on paper, say things that I don't otherwise say to, I guess, a therapist. You know, I can't sometimes, it's not that I can't, but I just won't, let allow people to see me in a state or a way that's not valuable to them. You know, I tuck away, my sadness and my anger and things like that. I'll deal with that at another time. I don't need that right now, and that's not going to help me right now. I'll deal with that later. Um, so yeah, again, it's 2 episodes worth of the same shit, right? And that's just kind of me telling, kind of fitting this in and just kind of telling you guys how I feel about, where I am in my space and my mental space, and how important it is to have that ability to do those things. And it's sometimes, like I said, it may seem like I have it together. I don't. I suffer certain things. And again, doing this gives me that sense of clarity. Doing this gives me that ability to to find a level field that I feel happy doing. And and again, it's almost now coming to terms that I want to be doing more of this. I don't know that I could transition it to a daily thing. Maybe more than once a week. I've been trying to do it once a week or every other week. But the truth is like everyone else, we all suffer the same things. We're not that different. I don't ever want to portray like I got it together, or I don't. My life's a shit show, straight up. It is. Like I said, it takes me days sometimes to figure shit out. Sometimes I may jump the gun. you know, I may make an irrational decision. I may say things that hurt people. Sometimes I don't always think things out thoroughly before I say or do them. I'm human. We all are. We all do these things. You know, and again, this is something that, yeah, my wife can see my my sadness and my anxiety and my depression and things that I'm walking around with, weights that I have on my shoulders. And there's a lot of it, things that I'm not really gonna really share here, but I'm just sharing the fact that I do go through these things, and she's aware of it. And there's not really much that she could do aside from just being who she is and being my wife and staying by my side, and being my pillar of strength, my stone, my rock, right? Um, and she does that phenomenally well. But there are sometimes this things that sometimes I just don't want to talk about, or I can't talk about, or I just need to sort out on my own, and I just need that space to do that, which is what this is. Moving forward, though, um, in this conversation, that's basically what I'm venting out right now. Is a level of fulfillment. I think we all have that. I think we all have a degree of, what is it that we're doing? What is it that you want to do? Where do I fit in? Where do I become impactful? Um, it's almost as if you feel so minuscule in a world that's so big, but at the same time you feel so relevant, which is kind of wild, right? You feel so small in a world so big, but yet you're so relevant. And it becomes where do I got to draw from that, because obviously I'm relevant in a world that's so big, but yet I'm so small. So where do I find my spot? Where do I put my footprint? Where do I make that impact? We all have that. We all have that in our lives. Where is it? What is it? How do I do it? And that's even another question, right? How? The question becomes how, right? And that when you ask that question, how, that's where fear starts coming in. And fear will take over, man. And I even, again, I've said this before, doing this, I don't know how. I had no idea how to do this, but I'm just doing it. And I got rid of the fear, and even the how, I'm working through the how. I'm learning. But it's crazy how and even if you think about the story, I'm gonna try to make the correlation. It maybe doesn't make any kind of sense whatsoever. But we all know how they supposedly say like an elephant is afraid of a mouse, right? Think of that, right? We're the mice. We're so small, yet we could move something so big. And it's just trying to figure out where that spot is. Where is that spot that my insignificant supposed life or insignificant of whatever it is I got going on? Where do I impact life or someone's life or my life in a way that I can move sizable objects? And that's probably a better analogy as to what I'm struggling with. Where's my spot? I'm doing this trying to find my spot. Whether it becomes something or doesn't become something. Like I said before, I don't know. But I'm gonna find my spot. But anyway, that's what I got. Thank you for listening. Do what you do it well, do it the best way you know how. Jay Cotto, and I am out.